Good morning and welcome. Before we begin our service, let us take a moment to share in our stone ritual. I place a stone for our joys. One for our sorrows. And one for our intentions for the coming week.
The UUCT care team follows up with congregants who are experiencing joys or sorrows. The care team also addresses needs of congregants. The care team can be contacted by email at careteam@uutampa.org. And now to our service.
Welcome to the Unitarian Universalist Church of Tampa. I'm Diana Stevens, your worship associate today. I almost said good morning, but that doesn't apply, does it, anymore? On this virtual service, you can watch it anytime you want, and we encourage you to watch it many times so that we can share our time with you. Welcome to this place where you are invited to explore, grow, and become part of a community grounded in reason and love. The reading for today's chalice lighting, is Blessed is the Fire That Burns Deep in the Soul by Eric A. Heller Wagner. Blessed is the fire that burns deep in the soul. It is the flame of the human spirit touched into being by the mystery of life. It is the fire of reason, the fire of compassion, the fire of community, the fire of justice, and the fire of faith. It is the fire of love burning deep in the human heart, the divine glow of every life.
All right, everybody, let's turn to the teal hymnal 1008, When Our Heart is in a Holy Place. When our heart is in a holy place, when our heart is in a holy place, we are blessed with love and amazing grace. When our heart is in a holy place, when we trust the wisdom in each of us, every color, every creed and kind, and we see our faces in each other's eyes, then our heart is in a holy place. When our heart is in a holy place, when our heart is in a holy place, we are blessed with love and amazing grace. When our heart is in a holy place, when we tell the story from deep inside, and we listen with a loving mind, and we hear our voices in each other's words, then our heart is in a holy place. When our heart is in a holy place, when our heart is in a holy place, we are blessed with love and amazing grace. When our heart is in a holy place, when we share the silence of sacred space, and the God of our heart stirs within, and we feel the power of each other's faith, then when our heart is in a holy place. When our heart is in a holy place. When our heart is in a holy place. We are blessed with love and amazing grace. When our heart is in a holy place. When our heart is in a holy place.
Hi, my name is Erin Powers, and I am the Director of Religious Exploration for Children and Youth here at the Unitarian Universalist Church of Tampa. And today I have a story for you that comes from the Persian Sufi Muslim writer Fakhruddin Attar. And this is inspired by his ancient epic poem titled The Conference of the Birds. So once upon a time, all the birds in the land decided that they needed a leader. A leader, they thought, would make their community stronger. Representatives of all the bird species gathered to discuss finding a leader. A leader will tell us the right things to do, said the robin. A leader must be wise, said the owl. A leader must believe we are each important, big and small, said the sparrow. I want the leader to be caring, like a friend, said dove. Yes, the leader helps us share and get along better, said the jay. A leader must make us feel safe, said the hawk. I know where you can find such a leader, said the hoopoe bird. It is the smorg, and it lives far from here. The birds were very excited. They said they were willing to go anywhere to find such a leader. It might be dangerous, said the hoopoe. A few of the birds looked troubled, but all the birds voted to go find the smorg. The hoopoe bird took off, and all of the birds followed. They flew at night. They flew in sunshine. Days and days passed. And some of the birds got tired and left the group. Other birds were filled with doubt. How did they know the smorg really existed? Only the hoopoe had ever heard of this bird. Some of the doubters dropped out, but others kept on flying. One valley was filled with fiery mountains. All the birds were afraid. I am too small to make it over that mountain, lamented the sparrow. No, keep flying. We can make it together. And they did. The strong flyers helped the weaker flyers. The birds with good vision helped to find food for the group. And along the journey, the birds learned how to better respect and share and care for each other. It seemed that every bird had something special and unique to offer that made their journey easier. And finally, the hoopoe announced, "We're here, we're here." And the other birds, they looked around in anticipation. "Where is the smorg? We don't see it," they cried. "Come, it is over here," said the hoopoe. The birds stood beside the hoopoe and realized they were on the edge of a lake. They looked in, and they saw their own reflections. And then they understood. The smorg was not another bird. The smorg was all of them, and all of them were the smorg. They remembered that each of them had something good and strong and special inside of them, and that each bird had gifts to bring to the community. They were all that was needed to keep the community strong. They knew now that together they could do anything. And with that, our story ends.
The reading for meditation today is Gentleness in Living by Richard S. Gilbert. Be gentle with another. It is a cry from the lives of people battered by thoughtless words and brutal deeds. It comes from the lips of those who speak them and the lives of those who do them. Who of us can look inside another and know what is there of hope and hurt, of promise and pain? Who can know from what far places each has come, or to what far places each may hope to go? Our lives are like fragile eggs. They crack and the substances escape. Handle with care. Handle with exceedingly tender care. For there are human beings within. Human beings as vulnerable as we are, who feel as we feel, who hurt as we hurt. Life is too transient to be cruel with one another. It is too short for thoughtlessness, too brief for hurting. Life is long enough for caring. It is lasting enough for sharing, precious enough for love. Be gentle with one another.
Our next hymn is going to be number 123, Spirit of Life. Spirit of life, come unto me. Sing in my heart all the stirrings of compassion. Blow in the wind, rise in the sea, move in the hand, giving life the shape of justice. Roots hold me close, wings set me free. Spirit of life, come to me, come to me. Spirit of life, come unto me. Sing in my heart all the stirrings of compassion. Blow in the wind, rise in the sea, move in the hand, giving life the shape of justice. Roots hold me close, wings set me free. Spirit of life, come to me, come to me.
Today we welcome our guest speaker, Jennifer Moore. She is speaking on behalf of the Crisis Center of Tampa Bay. Jennifer began her career in fundraising for nonprofit organizations when she graduated from college. She has been able to diversify her fundraising experience working on community nonprofits and universities. In 2016, Jennifer obtained her Certified Fundraising Executive certificate and today serves as the VP of Development for the Crisis Center of Tampa Bay.
Hello, my name is Jennifer Moore. I am the Vice President of Development for the Crisis Center of Tampa Bay. And I want to thank you so much for allowing us to share our mission and our programs with your congregation. You have been very supportive over the past several years, and we just want to say thank you, let you know what our programs continue to be, and also let you know of some changes that we have started since COVID-19 has hit our economy and hit our community. So I am going to go ahead and share with you a PowerPoint to help explain some of our programs. I think this makes it a little bit easier. So I do want to start off by saying that we are your Crisis Center of Tampa Bay. We've been serving this community since 1972, but it's so important for us to remind you that this service is here for all of you to utilize in our community. Our mission is to ensure that no one in our community has to face crisis alone. We know that anyone can find themselves facing a crisis, and we want to be here for them 24/7 to ensure that they have support. During the COVID-19 pandemic, we certainly have received more attention towards our community, towards our organization, and also we really wanted to recognize that heroes work here. You've seen this signage all over, but it's important for us to remind the community that in addition to TransCare, our medical transportation service first responders, we also are considered a first responder organization as a whole with our Gateway Contact Center assisting individuals with their needs during this time, our sexual assault services assisting individuals. We really all year long have heroes that work here as part of the Crisis Center. I'd like to start off by sharing about our Gateway services. This is exclusive to the Crisis Center. We provide this for all of Hillsborough County. We operate the 211 information line. That provides lots of resources for individuals that need support. Obviously, we received a lot of calls from individuals needing some financial assistance and helping them navigate some different systems going on. But we also have individuals that call that all year long for all types of different needs. We are proud to be able to offer that for Hillsborough County. Just so you know, if you do live in another county, 211 is a nationwide number, so you will still be able to receive support. We also answer the suicide prevention hotline here for Hillsborough County. It's the National Suicide Hotline. It's 1-800-273-TALK, and we answer about 100 calls each week through this line. Back in 2014, we launched a veteran support line. We are able to have veterans talking to veterans, so it's really about peer-to-peer support, and we actually have been able to take that statewide. We have an early childhood development screening. So we'll have individuals calling saying, you know, my child is 5 years old and they're not playing Mozart on the piano yet, or my child is 5 years old and isn't talking and isn't walking. And so obviously that's a time that we're able to help some parents set expectations and other times make sure that we're helping those parents get resources to make sure that we can get their child up to where they should be in their age development. Finally, we do answer the state drug and alcohol abuse hotline. So we're able to help individuals locate resources for those types of needs. The Crisis Center operates the Corbett Trauma Center, which consists of several different areas, different programs. We have sexual assault services. We are the Certified Rape Crisis Center for Hillsborough County. Anyone that has been sexually assaulted is brought to our facility, anyone who is sexually assaulted in Hillsborough County is brought to our facility, and they are the one patient. So versus going to a hospital emergency room, they come here and receive services from us. We also operate a counseling service, which makes perfect sense because individuals who have been through any type of trauma need assistance. And so we're specialized in that. And that includes not just those individuals who have been sexually assaulted, but individuals who have been a witness to a crime or individuals who perhaps went through something as a child and did not receive counseling or this specialized type of counseling. Finally, I want to mention care coordination. We know that when individuals call us for different situations, when they call us for suicide prevention, we know that they're going to need some ongoing support. When individuals come to us through sexual assault services, we know they're going to need some ongoing advocacy and different support. So the nice part about care coordination, which is exclusive to the Crisis Center, is we provide that ongoing support. We know that a crisis doesn't just happen one moment at a time. It really is an ongoing thing that we need to help provide support for. So for the counseling services, we do have 4 counseling offices. That is to ensure that, well, Hillsborough County is big, and we want to make sure that it's as convenient as possible for individuals in our community to receive this service. However, since we've been in a pandemic, we've transitioned to teletherapy. This has allowed us to continue providing services to those individuals needing counseling. And also we've seen an uptick of individuals needing this type of support during this very different time. Everything we do is evidence-based. It's proven to be both effective and fast. So most of our clients only have 12 to 14 visits before they are able to graduate from our program. We do have some funding for this, Victims of Crime Act and Violence Against Women. We also do take insurance, but many people cannot afford their insurance deductibles or have no insurance. So we do have some access to donor support. That way we never have to turn someone away who qualifies for trauma counseling. As I mentioned, for care coordination, it's important for us to continue working with individuals, especially those individuals with suicidal idealization. So we had 470 Hillsborough County residents participate in this program last year. And you can see the statistics. We were very positive in being able to help them. 100% reported a decrease in lethality. We are also able to focus on linking clients with community resources and increase support. Most time when somebody comes to us for a crisis, it's not just one thing. We always say when it rains, it pours. When there is something going on, typically there's more than just one thing going on, and we need to help link those clients with various resources. So this usually takes a little bit more ongoing support. So we do operate TransCare medical transportation services. So as I said, our mission is to ensure no one has to go through crisis alone. So when you're dialing 911, you're certainly needing some crisis support. We do have 23 ambulances, 8 vans, and over 125 employees. We're able to provide basic life support, and then we are also the provider for the Baker Act and Marchman Act transport. So Baker Act is if somebody is in danger of harming themselves or someone else. We would much prefer them to be transported in a medical vehicle versus a police officer or sheriff officer's vehicle. Marchman Act is if it's drug or alcohol abuse related. Finally, we have a community paramedicine program. This is specific for the chronic users of the emergency room. I know that many of us have been to an emergency room and what that feels like. Now imagine if you're going to the emergency room 2 or 3 times a month. Those individuals, obviously, their quality of life is very poor, and we want to help them find what's going on. We have been operating this program through a very special grant from Florida Blue. We were able to learn that many of the clients that were able to utilize this service really had chronic illnesses that they were not able to manage on their own or had never received enough education. So we had a 25-year-old young lady who was diabetic since a little child and had never really learned how to manage her insulin, how to get prescriptions sent to her home, not realizing that sugar is not just candy, but it's also in some of those carbs. And so our paramedic was able to work with her. Her quality of life has greatly improved, and we've learned that this is just a valuable service that we're able to help the emergency rooms not see as many repeat patients, but also to help those individuals have a better quality of life. As I mentioned, during COVID-19, we've had to add some new services and some new communication. So we had a number of staff that were doing some outreach with the One Tampa project to help facilitate getting some funds to individuals that were in emergency need for their rent or for their utilities. We've also been communicating weekly with our emergency policy group, our county commissioners, and more to let them know about the needs in the community. Because we are your crisis center of Tampa Bay, we see a number of the needs, and we want to make sure that as those needs change, we share that with our elected officials. We also were able to share that we were doing teletherapy. to let them know that we're still providing that counseling service. And finally, I wanted to add that we have started doing mobile COVID testing. We've actually been doing it for about 2 months. That's for those individuals that call the county hotline and need to have the test, but they can't get to a testing site. And what that looks like is an individual calling and saying that they need to have a test. Well, the problem is if they're taking public transportation, we're now potentially exposing more individuals. So instead, we will go to individuals' homes. The latest and greatest is we're actually operating 2 of the sites for COVID-19 testing. We're operating the site in Sun City Center, and we're also operating the site in Waimama. This, again, is to make sure that all of these services are as accessible to our community members as possible. Something interesting that we found for us during this time is typically our staff is not going through a crisis at the same time as a community member. A lot of times a community member will call, they're expressing what's going on, they're expressing their crisis, our staff person is able to support them through that. This is a different time for us. Our staff are going through some of these same crises themselves. We've had to change to a remote workforce, which was the first time in our history that we've ever tried that. We've had daily COVID meetings, and now we're down to about 3 times a week. But that's with our leadership to make sure that we're communicating properly with our staff. We're taking on what changes are happening in our community with the new mask ordinance and things like that. We want to make sure that we're staying on top of those and we're communicating with our employees. We're also having constant communication with our board. So we want to make sure that everyone knows that the Crisis Center is still here. The Crisis Center is still operating 100%. All of our services are still being offered, and including some of the new ones I shared. We also made sure to reach out to our donors, to our supporters, and asking how they were doing. We can't exactly ask individuals to write us a big check right now when we know so much is going on, but we wanted to double check with them and see how they were doing and if we could support them. We explained how the Crisis Center is still operating, and so having opportunities like this to share with the community, to let individuals know we're still operating, to let them know that we've been very successful in remote workforce is a wonderful opportunity for community members to know that we're here to receive support. Finally, we did do a little bit of donor cultivation and a little bit of ask for support. We shared with the community how we are responding to the COVID-19 pandemic. Everything I just shared with you, we started to share with our community to let them know. We were very fortunate to receiving a matching grant in order for individuals to double their investment in the Crisis Center. So these were 2 very successful campaigns where we shared about doing even more call volume in our Gateway Contact Center, and also shared about starting the COVID-19 testing and being able to operate and help that for our community. We also wanted to make sure the community knows, as part of our mission of trauma-informed care, we wanted to put out some very positive blog posts about some things, fun things you can do, as we've all kind of been cooped up in our homes for a long period of time now. So we did them around self-care, about ways to cope. And we also asked our staff to send in some self-care ideas. And we had a vote on some of the best ideas from our supporter, which was really wonderful engagement for our community and also wonderful engagement for our staff. Finally, I like to end every presentation with a little bit of fun. So what I'd like to do now is I'd like to share a new screen with you to share about from our president and CEO, Clara Reynolds, who is just really a super fun individual and is always willing to do a little bit of goofy stuff for us. So she has a video regarding self-care.
It's time for Self-Care with Clara, where Clara Reynolds demonstrates 4 amazing ideas for self-care. Idea number 1, create some art. Paint, color, take photos. Let your creativity shine. But perhaps you might want to focus on something besides social distancing. Idea number 2, reading. Pick a book or magazine you'll enjoy. Apparently, Clara's feeling a little nostalgic today. Idea number 3, exercise. Walk, ride a bike, do an online class. It looks like Clara is really missing the community pool, but she's making some adjustments and seems to be doing just fine. Idea number 4, listen to your favorite music. Today, Clara has chosen her 80s heavy metal playlist. Rock on, Clara. Rock on.
Well, thank you so much for giving us this opportunity to share the mission of the Crisis Center, to share the programs, and to let you know of all of the resources. we've added during this very unusual time. As you can see, our CEO, Clara Reynolds, is really a fun-spirited individual who's keeping our staff upbeat during this unusual time and making sure that we're able to take care of ourselves so we can take care of our community. We are here all year long, and we are your crisis center. We're 24/7. We will be here throughout this crisis, but we will be out here for any crisis that comes up to our community. So thank you so much for giving us the opportunity to share with your congregation. Thank you for your continued support of our mission, your advocacy for what we do. We greatly, greatly appreciate it. Please feel free to visit our website, www.crisiscenter.com. Thank you again so much. Have a wonderful day and stay safe.
And now it is time to talk about offering. And this week is Share the Plate. Each week, we ask you to make an offering to help support both the continued vision of this community and the vision of others who believe, as we do, in supporting peace, equity, and compassion in our world. This week, we share the plate with the Crisis Center of Tampa Bay. This organization helps people in vulnerable situations in the greater Tampa Bay area, and we are happy to share our resources with them. At the end of our service, please go to uutampa.org, our website, to contribute to this organization, or go directly to crisiscenter.com and donate there.
Now, everybody, we're going to sing number 95 in our hymnals, There's More Love Somewhere. There is more love somewhere. There is more love somewhere. And I'm gonna keep on till I find it. There is more love somewhere. There is more hope somewhere. There is more hope somewhere. And I'm gonna keep on till I find it. There is more hope somewhere. There is more peace somewhere. There is more peace somewhere. I'm gonna keep on till I find it. There is more peace somewhere. And there is more joy somewhere. There is more joy somewhere. And I'm gonna keep on until I find it. There is more joy somewhere.
The closing words for today are a reading by Ralph Waldo Emerson. It is one of the most beautiful compensations of this life that no person can sincerely try to help another without helping him or herself. Serve, and you shall be served. If you love and serve people, you cannot, by any hiding or stratagem, escape the remuneration. In closing today, we'd like to say that we're thankful that you came and joined us, that you spent your time with us, and that hopefully you'll spend time at the coffee time at 11:30. Our hope for you is that the coming days are filled with kindness, love, and wisdom.